Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. You should already know that this live stream is poised to be an instant classic in the making. It has been a long time since I've been able to bless YouTube with a live stream and be able to converse with my people, but I am glad to be back. I think my last official live stream was November 10th when I went to go set this one up. It said November 10th was the last time that I had a conversation with my people, so it's good to be back. But for those of you who are new to the channel, those of you who are just becoming part of the Dr. Mike TV experience, first and foremost, welcome. That's first. And make sure you subscribe and notify, and make sure you make yourself well-versed in all the Good Docs content, books, merch, all that stuff is listed in the links in the description area of the majority of my videos. Now, Doc's been going for a minute, and I'm unapologetic for it. I'm just mad that I, just haven't had a chance to come through and politic with y'all like I do. But again, for those of you who've been rocking with the Good Doc for a long time, I appreciate y'all coming through, showing some love. It's just been a minute, man. So let me go ahead and get into the groove of things, right? So, like I said, all my good stuff are listed in the links in the description area of my videos. If you guys aren't familiar with my content, any of that good shit, I talk about Philippine shit and, some reactionary stuff every now and again. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little bit excited to deliver this particular topic of conversation. It's something that's been on my mind for a relatively long time. And I think that there's no time like the present to go ahead and bring it to you. Now, if you guys are familiar with the video that I dropped recently, which was entitled what? I think the title of that video was One Thing Foreigners Have to Accept About Some Foreign Women. And in that particular video, what I did was I went on ahead and let y'all know, hey, man, you cannot be surprised to find young ladies that are willing to be promiscuous by nature. You cannot be surprised to find some young ladies that are willing to get their backs blown out. You cannot be surprised if you go overseas and meet a foreigner woman, you being the foreigner man, and there's a young lady out there that's giving you them eyes like she wants you to come do me. Most people call them the do me eyes. You cannot be surprised at that. And the reason you can't be surprised at that is because for the types of women that exist in the United States, you are likely to find, to an extent, a young lady in foreign countries. It doesn't represent all of them, but a good little few that are happy to allow you to bless yourself with their presence and your presence alike, right? We having us commingle and have a little fun and shit. Don't be surprised if there's a couple of young ladies that are willing to have fun. But at the opposite end of it, what I also wanted to make sure that I made note of is there are a lot of foreign men out there who have never traveled the world, who have never been to foreign countries, that have the idea that all of these women are somewhat holier than thou, so much tradition, they're about this, they're about that, they're not really out there in these streets like that. But then when you have guys like me and a couple of other brethren who can co-sign on the fact that these young ladies aren't so shy to get it in when they want to, now all of a sudden it kind of changes their trajectory or the thought process about the majority of women overseas, right? And I'm just trying to let you know, if you haven't done it already, ladies and gentlemen, do not be surprised, right? Do not be surprised if you have a young lady that says, hey, you know what? I think you're cute. I like you or whatever. Most of them will never be so forward. A lot of them would never be so forward as to say, hey, look, I'm trying to get it in. What's up? But they'll lead you into the thought process of, hey, if you bout it, I'm bout it too. I'm not really a shy girl. I'm open to anything type shit. You'll find them in the Philippines, right? And probably in other foreign countries too. But what I really wanted to actually get into, in reference to that particular video, what I said, but what I want to get into today is the image of some foreigners. The image some foreign men have about women abroad can somewhat be skewed, right? And so when we talk about the image of foreign women, again, I spoke to you guys briefly about how some guys believe that these women are holier than thou, that some of these women are out here just, being the best versions of themselves, being all that they could be. And they're super traditional. They're in the house. They're doing all this stuff. A lot of the talking points that you hear from a lot of guys and what they're looking for, especially when it comes to women, you're likely to find in foreign women, right? But when you do come across a girl and she doesn't necessarily fit that bill, now all of a sudden it's like, what do I do? This is not what I expected. This was not what I was looking for. This was not what I had anticipated, right? Sexual promiscuity, for the most part, for a lot of people, kind of gets you in that mood where, oh, she must be a hoe. Let me say that one more time for all my people in the nosebleed back there. Appreciate y'all locking in, man. I see y'all in the building. I'm gonna shout you guys out in a minute. Give me a second. But a lot of guys believe that sexual promiscuity in a lot of these young ladies automatically makes them hoes, 304s, slurs, whatever you want to call them. Oh my God, this girl is no different than all these women in the United States, da 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 da. And it makes you feel away. Now, I'm not one to judge. I'll tell you the truth. If that's what I would rather a young lady come to me and be as real as she possibly can. If she wants this, I mean, technically she can't have it, technically, because you know your boy is locked down with the mean one. Shout out to my boo thing. But if she wanted it, I mean, at least let me know so that we can figure out where we stand and what actually this means for us, right? But some guys aren't used to women being so forward, and when they're not used to it, it becomes scary and it skews their views. Like, oh my God, how dare this woman want to talk to me in this particular aspect or whatever. Now all of a sudden, it's like, yo, she want to talk to me and she wants to get it in with me like automatic. Oh, she must be a hoe. So now there is no such thing as traditional women in the world, and you start going on your little rants and shit. You want to know what the good doc would tell you to do? And I'm just going to be honest because I love y'all. If she willing to give up the butt, take the butt. Okay, not in the literal sense, you know, but if she's willing to accommodate, or if she's willing to be, you know, somebody that's willing to get it in with you and actually participate, and she's a willing fucking participant, why are you gonna fight it, right? Why are you gonna sit there and cry about it? Yes, I understand that maybe you thought women may have this particular view because these are what a lot of guys have told you about women in these foreign countries, and they've kind of tried to sell you on the idea of the traditional status of a lot of these women in foreign countries. And yes, that actually does exist, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make sure I say that from the back of my throat. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are foreign traditional women in these particular countries. I said, sorry, not foreign traditional, but traditional style or traditional types of women in these foreign countries. They're there 100%. But at the exact same time, you got to understand, there's just some girls out there that just want to get their back blown out. And to be honest with you, if I wasn't a married man, those would probably be the types of women that I would go for. Why? Mainly because there's little to no commitment necessary. These women just want to get it in. They just want to have their fun. So they're probably not going to demand too much from you outside of the sexual experience. How can you beat that? I don't really have to take you out on dates. I don't really have to take you anywhere. Very rarely do I have to spend any money on a lot of these young ladies if they're willing to be in it for the experience. How in the world are you going to fight that? Make it make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Make that make sense. Why are you going to fight against it? If a young lady is about that life and she want to get it in, why are you going to sit there and say, oh my God, I'm not going to deal with you because you're not traditional? I have no words, right? For the greater majority of y'all, you know, that's just how I feel about it. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people that feel a little different, right? But at the end of the day, that's pretty much how I feel about it. Like I said, man, I appreciate y'all locking in real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and shout out you guys in a minute. Let me see if I get this dang mic to act right. Trying to find my little joint. There she goes. All right, shout out to my brother Robert. You already know what it is. My Main Street Capital brethren in the building. If you're a stock market guy, you already know what we talking about. That's my brother right there. Appreciate you locking in, Robert. It's been a minute, but I promise you, my brother, when I make it to Las Vegas, you are going to be my first call because for some reason, the wife wants to go to the West Coast sometime soon. I got your number. So if we're gonna make it happen, we'll make it happen. My brother SML, what's good with you, pimping? Good to see you in the building. Vince, what's good, pimping? He says, what's good, family? I'm on my 30-day countdown before returning back home to the Philippines, man. Have enough fun for the both of us. That is all I can say right now. Have enough fun for the both of us. BK, what's good with you, brother? I hope life is treating you well with you and your particular young lady. Shout out to my brother here, man. Men's Daily Advice. What's good? Appreciate you locking in, brother. I know I see you in the building a lot, but it's been a minute, so it's good to see all of my other folk that usually come through, pop off, have a little conversation with me. He said, "Why you gonna fight it, bruh? Make it make sense, man." Oh, that's my wife. Y'all better make sure y'all say hi to the mean one. But yeah, man, why you gonna fight it? Why you gonna fight it? If she gonna give it up to you for the low, not necessarily for damn near for the free, she ain't gonna make you work for it because she want it just as bad as you. Make it make sense. Why are you gonna fight it? Tell me. Tell me. Why you gonna fight it? Why are you gonna fight it? I wouldn't. Vince, you say there's skewed isn't the word. They have these girls effed up. Pretty much. Looking for a wife on a dating site isn't too wise, or marrying bar girls. Do what you do, but don't complain if you got do what you do, but don't complain if you got a stupid prize. 100%, bro. 100%. They do got these girls messed up. And you're right, man. The idea of meeting girls online and thinking that that's really going to be wifey material all the time is crazy. Now, let me make sure I preface this by saying there's a small few, ladies and gentlemen, very, 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 very small few percent of young ladies that are online actually looking for love. Most of them probably looking to scam, probably looking for a come up, or probably looking for a foreigner to take care of them. Again, when you know what is likely to occur when you're dealing with certain ladies in certain environments, guess what? Guess what? You get what you get, right? Like my name, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's absolutely true. Because I would never go on a dating site and look for somebody to marry, right? We already know the rules when it comes to online dating. We already know zero commitments. Like, fuck with you. Like, hey, we cool. We'll keep it casual and stuff. When we meet in the Philippines, we can try to pick it up from there if that's the way you want to take it. Or it could be a casual hookup thing. I don't know. Whatever you looking for, you go for it, but you make sure you're honest about it. And one thing that I shouldn't have to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Excuse me. The one thing that I'm gonna say that I shouldn't have to say is that you got to be honest with these girls, man. You got to be honest with these girls. You got to be honest with these girls. And I say that 3 times because at the end of the day, what's the worst that could happen if you tell a girl that you're trying to hook up? She tell you no. Bruh, if you've been rejected enough times in the United States, do you think another no is really going to hurt your feelings? Probably not. So if the worst thing that could possibly happen is a young lady say, "Ooh, I'm not like that. How dare you think I'm like that type of girl?" You move on. Okay. Just move on. Because at that point, it's like, look, she's trying to prove a point. Granted, she probably is like that. She just don't want to come off like that. You know what it is. You might as well just move on. So if the worst thing about me saying, "Hey, baby girl, I like you. I find you to be attractive. I think that me and you could have some really good chemistry," or whatever the fuck, however you want to phrase it, just don't be rude with it. Like, say some weird shit. Outside of that, if she says no, there's probably gonna be another girl out there that's looking to participate in said events. Again, don't have the expectation that these women are gonna come at you like that, but they'll definitely drop the clues and give you the hints, right? Excuse me, man. I don't know what's going on. BK, you say you'll be back in Davao on September 3. In September for 3 weeks, man. Have fun, brother. Have fun. Yes, the wife loves trolling me. As a matter of fact, you see this beautiful, beautiful setup behind me. You thank her for that. She did all this shit. You should see this fucking gaming monitor setup because my wife is now a Twitch streamer. She plays all types of games and stuff on Twitch now. New games as well as Fortnite being her forte. You should see the setup. I would take a picture of it, but I might fuck some shit up. And if I mess something up, guess who's in trouble? This guy, right? So, excuse me, whenever I go live, man, you're pretty much going to see me like this with the little cute background and shit, my little intergalactic shit. She did all this, bro. I ain't do none of this. I just sat down and went live. This is the first time I'm going live since we started shit, but I like it though, man. I'm just not playing around with the setup because she did all this, but you know what it is. Don't you do it? I said, don't you do that every day? Yeah, my wife, she games damn near every day, but if you talk about getting on my nerves and being in that ass, yeah, she gets on me about everything every day too. Shout out to my brother Earl Owens. What's up with you, pimping? Appreciate you locking in, man. It's been a minute. Shout out to my brother from Tacoma, Washington, man. But back to the topic of conversation at hand. When I say that, the image that some of these guys have about these women is skewed, it's definitely due to sometimes things that they've probably heard about these women before, right? I mean, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I don't say names because that's not my business. But man, there's a lot of guys out there selling some false hope to a lot of these dudes about these women's in these foreign countries. All right. I would say outside of Japan, even you might find some Japanese ladies that might be like that. But outside of Japan, for the most part, the greater majority of the young ladies don't necessarily mind, some casual hookup shit. Now, I say Japanese because Japanese women are probably some of the shyest women on earth for the most part. Not too many of them are forward about things like that. Again, they come from a background where things are pretty much, I would have to say, pretty professional, secretive, and standard, respectful to an extent, right? So those types of conversations, how they come up, your guess will probably be as good as mine. Probably no different than, a woman from the Philippines or a woman from Thailand or something. But I would say you'd have to ease into that conversation because chances are, unless you meet them in that bar type setting, and you know that she's into that casual fun type shit, the conversations may go a little bit different, right? And again, I don't necessarily expect that the experiences that you would have in places like the Philippines and Thailand are going to be the same as, Vietnam or, Cambodia or places like Japan. Because I kind of feel like these types of women are different types of young ladies. You feel me? Um, but back to the topic at hand, I'm afraid that a lot of these guys have been sold a dream that's just unrealistic. And I'll call it for what it is, man. I don't know where it comes from. Maybe the one or two or three young ladies that particular individuals have dealt with at a particular period of time have kind of shown this traditional lifestyle or have put on that front like they are the tradition. And then, goddamn be the freak from freaks and freaks of hell and shit, give you all types of, work and shit. But we always know that the women always put their best foot forward, right? For the first 6 months of any type of relationship, hell, even a year, they're willing to, play the part as best they can, especially if you're not full time in country. Now, if you're not full time in country, that makes it 20 times worse because all they have to do is act right for a period of time, whether that be a couple weeks or a month or so. And maybe you guys aren't together 100% of the time while you're there. Maybe you're in that business wherein you want to date around or talk to a couple young ladies while you're there, not really looking to be settled into anything. If that's the case, then the woman only has to act right when you show your face, right? When you show your face is the only time they do what they need to do. Because how are you to know outside of that she ain't out here in these streets going ham sandwich, getting clapped, just crazy, right? And I can even tell you a story because people like to share stories with me via email. This was probably one of my favorite stories of all time, and I think that it's relevant to this particular topic of conversation. So, I knew a foreign guy that was I don't know what city he was in, Zamboanga or something like that. It could have been in Manila somewhere, right? So he tells me, he's like, "Yo, Doc," and this is right after I shared the video with you, so it's within the last couple of days. He hit me up. He's like, "Yo, Doc," he says, "Sometimes, man, these women are not necessarily scandalous, but they just they if they bout it, they're bout it. That's the best way for me to put it." So this young lady was dealing with a foreign man, like a long distance relationship with a foreign guy. This foreign guy was living in somewhere in Europe. I want to say it was Germany, and he just happened to be in country at the time. The young lady had absolutely no problem telling this man, "Hey, look, I'm already dating a foreign guy. He hasn't been to the country, like back to the Philippines for I want to say a few months or so." And she was open to the idea. She was like, "Hey, I'm already in a relationship. I'm not looking for anything like that, but I do want to have fun. Like I have my needs, There is nothing that opens a man's eyes and ears more than when a woman lets you know that she has needs, because at that point, she is clearly letting you know that she is ready to get them cheeks clapped. She is ready to do some freaky shit. When a woman tells you that she has needs, if she's openly willing to tell you, "Hey, women got needs," you should already know what should come after that. Like if you're not even going hard enough to try to go get you some, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But back to the story. Her man was, like I said, in the Europe somewhere. I want to say it was in like Germany or something like that. He was there. She was cool with it because he reached out to her on the online site too, or wherever they met at, and they had fun. And you know what makes that even crazier? And I don't know why people share this shit with me. I guess because sometimes they know that I'm good for bringing this shit to the audience. But shout out to all of my brothers who come from these European countries. Okay. I love y'all. Y'all, my brethren too. But y'all into some freaky shit. And maybe this is just me because I'm a good boy and I don't know nothing about none of this shit. But let me tell you what he told me this girl wanted. Okay. The girl says, yes, I'm in a relationship, right? I with a guy. My guy hasn't been in country for a long time. I have my needs. So by the time they're trying to set this shit up, right, have this whole little rendezvous, have a little conversation, little me you time type shit. She was like, "Hey, my man wants us to record us having sex." That's really what he wanted. He wanted the guy that sent me the email, his girl, to make a video so that she could send the video to him while he's in Germany, while this dude is clearly blowing his girl's back out. Like I said, it shouldn't be. It's not in the realm of shit that I do, so that's why it's got your boy taking it back a little bit. I know I shouldn't be because the sexual liberation of this like entire era right now is crazy as hell, but she about that life, and he was too. So at this point, it let me further know that the guy didn't even care enough that his girl was having sex with other guys. He just wanted to see it. So let me put this into a situation that you can understand. You got a guy, foreign guy, that's literally taking care of the girl, doing everything for the girl, paying all her bills and doing all this stuff, taking care of her. And all you have to do is show up and blow that back out, and you really ain't got to do nothing but record the video or some shit or set up or whatever. I mean, is it a win-win? As long as you no face, no case, I guess you winning. But you know, it starts to become a little different and a little bit difficult for a lot of people. But at the same time, you got to understand when somebody talks about they got needs and stuff and they really about that, who's really going to decline that offer? I mean, I know some guys that have dealt with some girls that were probably not the cutest because she said she had some needs. And if you're a real one, like the good doc is, and I tell you exactly like I told y'all in the past, my thought process has not changed. If you got a young lady that's giving you those quote unquote choosing signals, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna find a way to make it work. If you're a real one, you're gonna find a way to make it work, right? Maybe baby girl might be a little bit on the heavy side, right? Maybe a little bit on the chubby side, right? Maybe that's not your thing. But maybe baby girl got cute feet, right? Maybe she got nice hands. Maybe she got nice eyes. At that point, what do? Gentlemen, we gonna make it work. Now, I'm not sitting here telling y'all to be chubby chasers. I'm not sitting here telling you the types of girls to go for. But at some point, what you will realize is if she got needs and you got needs, you're gonna find a way to make them needs work. You feel me? You're gonna find a way to make it work. That's just life. Like you'll justify it any way that you can. Well, she may not have been my first choice, but she got a nice smile, so fuck it, let's make it work. Crazy. Shit crazy. But it's true, man. You're gonna find a way to make it work. I'm sorry. I'm telling you like it's going to be. Right. And I think this probably comes more so from guys that may not be as successful with dealing with women in these foreign countries. I'm sorry, not in foreign countries, but in the United States or something like that. But I promise you this, I'm telling you exactly what you're gonna do because you need to hear it. You're going to make it work. One way or another. Come hell or high water. If some girl's trying to throw that thing at you, you're gonna find a way to make it work. It's just it. I don't care if it's a 2:30 in the morning rendezvous, man. You can keep everything on the hush hush. Ain't nobody up at, like what they used to say, what ain't nobody out after 2 o'clock in the morning but the devil or some shit like your grandma used to tell you. Ain't nobody out that early in the morning but the devil and somebody else. No, ain't nothing open that early in the morning but legs and like the devil or some shit. I can't remember. I fucked it up, but you hear shit like that all the time. And would you rather hear it from me or from somebody else? Y'all gonna make it work. That's what I will say. My man Earl says some of these guys sound like used car salesmen. They truly do. They truly do. I ain't even gonna hold you on that one. I think that everybody does have needs as well. It's just for me, it's the vocal aspect of it. It's the vocality of you telling me or a woman telling you, yo, I got needs. That lets you further know that she chose you to tell that to. Cause I'm pretty sure she not out there telling every guy she got needs. Cause at that point, you get a little scary, right? But if she part her lips to say some things like that, hey, I got needs, I feel you're gonna find a way to make that work. Don't be that way. Shout out to Sincerely. What's up, love? Appreciate you coming through. Um, he said the dark side of the force. Pimping the good doc and all this shit here. This is this is a reformed version of myself. But at the end of the day and at my core, I will be as honest with you as I could possibly be. And if you come out here in these streets thinking that all these foreign women are, precious or to be pedestalized to an point, to an extent, you got the wrong one. And it sucks that a lot of guys still have that thought process about them. Oh man, these foreign women at this, these foreign women at that. They need to do this, they need to do that. I think you just need to come to the countries that you're looking to visit, the countries that you're looking to be a part of, or sharing experiences, whether that be places in South America or places here in the side of the world that a lot of us like to fuck with, Asia, Thailand or the Philippines. You just got to go there and figure it out for yourself. Okay, don't fight it. Just do you, man. Because eventually, what you'll learn is a lot about yourself, and you're damn sure gonna learn a lot about these women, right? It's one thing to hear somebody on the internet tell you how these women are. And for the most part, for the greater majority of the content that I've come across and digested, for the most part, most of them are pretty somewhat on point about what they say about these women, at least from an experience like my own. Um, Pretty much on point about some viewpoints. But then again, there are some far-fetched situations that I've chosen not to really go in on and dissect videos on. I just let it ride because at some point you're gonna realize you gotta go out there and do this shit yourself. I can tell you everything that I know. I'm sure that all my people who make content about dating foreign women can tell you all the things that they know. But at the end of the day, once they tell you everything that they know, that's pretty much where it stops, right? So now you got to go out there and try to figure that shit out yourself. I guess the question is, how many of y'all are willing? I know my guys are good. I'm sure y'all will, but how many of y'all are willing to go out there and figure this shit out on your own? I ain't gonna lie, I got lucky. I got lucky 100%. All right. I didn't have to go at this by myself. Like when I first got to the Philippines, I didn't have to go at this by myself. My dad and my brother were there before me. Right. I think at that time, my brother had already been in country for a year before I officially moved there. And my dad had been in, probably 3 years or so prior to that. So I kind of came into the game with, people who could watch my back and keep me from making dumbass mistakes, which I did when I first got in country. I could tell you right now, I made some fucking mistakes. Hell, even after learning the game, I still made mistakes. You want to know why? Because sometimes you just gotta try. You gotta try some shit, right? You just gotta be like, you know what? Although I know I'm probably gonna get burned on this, let me see if they really about it, right? And you knew you were gonna get burned. If you could accept the fact that you're gonna get burned, but you really want to see if you're gonna get burned for it, I'm willing to let that happen too, right? If you know somebody gonna fuck you over, you just know it. But you still want to see if it's gonna happen anyways because of how outlandish or whatever it is the request was or whatever it is that's supposed to happen. You just wanted to see for yourself to see if it was really like that. And you willing to get burned for it, you're willing to stand on your hill and take your L and shit. I still made those same types of mistakes, right? So again, I'm not human, right? But I see the couple of y'all in the building right now. If you haven't already dropped your like, man, make sure y'all drop that like. Y'all know what it is, man. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, needs it, most definitely has to have it. If you guys want to support the Good Doc in any capacity, y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all can super chat if you want to. Put a couple dollars on the Good Docs books if you want to, man. It's been a minute since I've done this, so my dry spells or those, transitions are a little rough. But I'm getting back into it, I promise you. My man says sounds like something Marcus would do. Shh, we don't talk about Marcus. Marcus does need his own channel though. I am 100%. I wish I could do a Marcus channel. I wish I could, but that's dangerous. That is opening up Pandora's box and a can of worms and all that shit at the exact same time. That is dangerous. We do not need a Marcus channel, but Marcus has done some shit. Shout out to all of my Marcus brethren. I think I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Hello, my name is." I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Hello, my name is Marcus." You know, the little tag that you fucking get when you introduce yourself to new people to write Marcus's name on there and shit. I think I just need the shirt just for a little chuckle, man. Only the people who know really know, the Marcus situation and shit. But yeah, man, Marcus was definitely the only live once part of myself. 100%. Love that dude. That dude is awesome. He has protected the boy for a long time. Got me out a lot of shit. But yeah, man, those were good times, man. My man says, let the thirst flow through you in moderation. As always, man, we got to do things in moderation. Let's not go crazy or ham sandwich in this bitch. Cause yeah, you know what it is. You definitely have to be on the ground, man. It's the best way to learn. I can tell you everything I know, but you know what the beautiful thing and the fucked up thing about YouTube is? My experience won't be yours. Your experience won't be mine. So that's kind of why a lot of you guys have to take everything that people tell you on these YouTube videos with a grain of salt. Because my experiences will not be yours and yours will not be mine. Like the way that I went through life, the experiences that I had, the places I found myself in, the experiences that I've had and dealing with certain types of things, like that's my story. You feel me? And I can tell you from my experience things that I've experienced, and you can have a couple guys that may come through and co-sign on it and say, yeah, I can kind of vibe with that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the exact same way it's going to happen to you, which is why I'm very hesitant to, make certain affirmations, if that's the word I want to use, or to make certain things known. Because if it happened to me, like I said, it's not guaranteed that's going to be your way. Never has and it never will be. And I want to protect y'all from it, but also I want to edutain, if that's the best way for me to put it. I want to at least be able to put some energy out there that you guys can at least pick, a couple of tidbits of information out of and call it for what it is. Like, yo, man, I can use what Doc said here. I could do that. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely do that. Shout out to my brother JD, man, especially for Filipinos. You're 100%, man. This is a live and learn situation. You've got to be hands on with experiences when it comes to foreign women in general. And I would personally say with Filipinas as well. Because how me and my wife met is just different than probably how maybe you would meet somebody that you're dating or somebody that you're interested in. I didn't meet my girl online. But we often share in a joke and say, hey, if anybody ever asks us how we met, we're going to tell them we met online, right? I went to college there. I had a way different experience than the greater majority of people, which is why when I make the statement that my life or the way that I live that bitch ain't going to be the same as yours, that's pretty much one of the big key indicators. I lived there. And we're talking about years upon years at a time. A lot of guys don't necessarily have the time to live there unless they're committing themselves to this second or third part of their life after retirement, or they've been able to find a way to transition to a more online lifestyle, or how do I say this, being a digital nomad or something like that, and they can now officially live in countries and shit like that. Like, that's different. You feel me? That's way different. Because for the most part, a lot of us still have jobs, regular 9 to 5s that we show up to every day, that we got to say, hey, man, I need a couple of days off, man, so I could go ahead and take this foreign trip. I mean, it's just the reality of it, right? Don't let nobody shit on you for having a 9 to 5. I still got one, and I love that son bitch, man. Actually, let me stop lying. Nah, I love my job, man. It's not bad. It's not horrible. But if you think that I've stopped looking for ways for me to transition my life and my lifestyle to overseas, you're crazy, right? There's always still trying to find that thing that you know for sure is going to consistently deliver what you need to deliver in order to live a substantial lifestyle overseas, right? You just know that. Right. But going back to what I said earlier, man, my experiences, my going to college there, me having the college experience, going to intramurals and dealing with, college girls where I actually did meet the young lady that I currently marry. That's different. Like my vibe is completely different. My energy, who I am and how I became who I became in the Philippines is going to be completely different than a lot of you guys. But what I can say is the greater majority of us can somewhat co-sign and say, hey, you know what, I would rather be probably in a place overseas than probably where I am right now if you are in your home country, which will allow you to have that mindset that think about, hey, how can I get to where I need to be? How can I get to the Philippines? How can I get to wherever it is that I'm trying to go? Okay. So although our experiences aren't the same, doesn't mean that we can't necessarily share in some of the same experiences, right? Best way for me to put it. My man said on the side note, you accumulating for this bull run. Is that in reference to investments? I don't know if you're talking about crypto or you talk about stocks, or am I just reading too far into that? But yes. I've been hearing a lot about this is the greatest transference of wealth and some shit like that. I just been reading a lot of articles about that stuff. So I'm in the game. I'm definitely in the market. Sticking to my long-term plays for the most part. I've kind of I don't know options and things like that, but I have invested in some like minor, I would say, penny stocks that I fuck with. Some that got names, some that are connected to crypto. I still hold some, let me see, how can I say this? I still hold some tokens or coins in a couple of cryptocurrencies. None in Bitcoin at the moment, but yeah, none of it. I have a crypto play. Like I'm actually looking at it right now as we speak. Got a couple of cryptocurrency coins that I'm holding. None of it is Bitcoin or Ethereum, which I think is crazy, but I really didn't have the energy to invest in it. Not necessarily the energy, but I felt like, I think at that time when I was thinking about it, I won't say that it was overly bought, but I would say that I did believe more so in a couple of the smaller ones that kind of had a potential to run up. So that's kind of what I've been playing with. But for the most part, I'm a stock guy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love stocks. And Robert already knows, man, that is in my personal opinion, I don't know about Robert, but this is my biggest holding in my long term portfolio. It is Main Street Capital. I'm going to just tell you the truth. This is the biggest holding that I have in my individual. And to be honest with you, Robert, I don't know if I told you this, brother, but I have been investing in some ETFs. Like I used to tell people, fuck ETFs back in the day, because I used to be that guy that was like, man, who the fuck want to mess with ETFs? That's cheating. I used to say that shit all the time. I used to say, if you buy ETFs, you cheating because you're investing in a basket of stocks. I was just playing around. And now that I've come to see the real value in having ETFs, I got one or two of them in my portfolio as well. But Main Street Capital will always be the OG, triple OG, OG, triple, triple in my particular portfolio. And I ain't afraid to share it. I just can't. He said, you better believe it. Pimping. Maine is that shit. The way they pay out their monthly dividends, that's one. The way they pay out, I think in June, they kind of double up. I think sometime in September or some shit, they double up. And maybe at the end of the year in December, they double up, which means they pay us twice a month. Man, this is one of those sleeper stocks. And the fact that bitch bumped up to 45 killed me, bro. I said, how in the hell did we miss this? Don't care. I'm on it. Didn't matter. But yes, man, I got into the ETF game, man. It took me a while. I was fighting it for a long time. But you see they have Bitcoin ETFs now. Yeah, man. And I think that's why the greater majority of the coin was moving like it's been moving lately. Because they did, announce the Bitcoin ETF. I know that I think it was the BlackRock. I think Vanguard and them have the greater majority of these Bitcoin ETF shit, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, man, I'm actually pretty excited about it. I haven't really explored it quite yet. I've looked at some stocks that were backed by cryptocurrency recently, like Riot and is it ClearSpark or CleanSpark? There's this thing company called Wolf, Terra Wolf or some shit. I've looked at a couple of them, and kind of been following them because they're a little bit more on the penny side. So I know that if I buy 100 shares of that shit and it does run up, there's a potential for me to get up and get out. I've been playing around with it, but yeah, I haven't looked at any of the Bitcoin ETFs just yet, but I'm definitely curious to see how that plays out. 100%. I might have to if I want to try to get into some Bitcoin play, because the odds of me just going out there and put a couple $100 until I build up enough to get me like a fraction of a fucking coin, a fraction of a Bitcoin. I don't know how much I'm willing to play that one for the long haul. I should, but I just haven't. But shout out to my brother, man. Shout out to one of my brothers who really got me into investing. Um, he's opened up a Roth IRA where he's been able to buy Bitcoin through it. So, he could get in retirement and come out relatively unscathed. Crazy. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, man. Sometimes the image these foreign guys have of these women overseas is definitely skewed, and it's definitely effed up because y'all think that they are all holier than thou. They would never do anything like these women in the United States, but I'm here to let you know I don't know anywhere in the world where a woman just doesn't enjoy getting their back blown out. It's just the truth. I'm not gonna say that out loud, but I'm pretty sure you can hear me. Right, ladies, don't take it as a sign of disrespect. It's okay. Actually, I applaud you for at least being able to tell a man what it is that you really want. That's the truth. If it was me, I would appreciate the honesty. So at least we could figure it out from there. We don't have to play games with each other. We don't have to go with this back and forth shit. All this texting, hi, how are you? What you doing? Did you eat? Are you hungry? None of that shit. If we can bypass all that and you save me all that time, baby girl, I applaud you. I truly do. So don't take this as a sign of me looking down on any woman that's willing to let you know that this is what she's looking for in her life. Just let it be known as a message that, you know, 99.9% of the time, the guy's going to probably, reciprocate, depending on who it is. But 99.9% of the time, oh, buddy, go precipitate. Sorry, reciprocate. Um, my message drifting a little to Africa and now back to the Philippines. Yeah, you told me about your experience, man. I got a chance to check out the email, man. I hope it did treat you well. You kind of deep dived that thing pretty well, man. I was thinking about doing an interview with you, but I haven't been on here enough to be able to make that happen. This is my first stream, like I said, in a couple of months, but the wife be in this room killing it, man, with her little gaming shit. So I don't really bother her very much. And I'll be out the house damn near all morning until like 9 o'clock at night anyway. So I don't really have time to stream. But yeah, man, this is the new setup. Hope you guys enjoy it. I think it's pretty. Made me look good, I guess. Made me look like I'm kind of professional about this bitch. But I owe it all to the wife. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all locking in, man. Shout out to all my brethren who showed up. You already know who you guys are, but just in case, shout y'all out real quick. My brother Robert, as always. SML, appreciate you. Vince, appreciate you. My boy BK, Men's Daily Advice, appreciate you locking in. And I love my little small group of people because it makes it easier for me to be able to shout y'all out when the stream ends. So if you guys happen to join me or you're watching the playback on this one and you have an opportunity to join the good dot, please make sure you know that you are going to get a shout out. Whether you love me or hate me, whatever you got to say, I'm going to show you some love. All right, sincerely appreciate you locking in, love. If I missed you, my brother Sam, what's up with you, man? Appreciate you coming through. I think I got everybody. Is that it? And then my brother JD. You already know what it is, man. It's nice to be live, man. It's nice to be live. And I'm gonna try to get back into it, man. I'm not gonna be as consistent as I want to be, but I'm definitely gonna try to come through as long as I have a good dialogue and a good conversation to have, man. Something for us to be able to talk about, right? Something we can actually be able to, deep dive into and actually have a decent conversation about. If the topic is good, you'll damn sure know that you're going to see me. But if you guys have any topics of conversation that you want the good doc to review, let me go ahead and put my email in there. I'm going to put it in the chat real quick and I'm going to put it on the screen. That way y'all can, if you got anything you want to share with me, man, I'd be glad to review it at the very least. Or if it's worthy of a live, man, we could come on and have a great conversation. conversation. There we go. Mike the P I got at gmail.com. If you have anything that you want me to cover or review or anything that you find to be interesting, Philippine content or non, just something to react to. Appreciate you. Yes, wife, I am definitely enjoying your setup way too much. All right. I told you she did all this shit. I don't do nothing. I tell you the truth. I just show up and record. That's me. I ain't gonna lie. The technicals, all that shit in the background, she did all this. I ain't do this. Fuck, I don't care about that shit. But it look good though, don't it? It look good though, don't it? Oh man, Robert, you know I'm fancy now, man. I'm feeling myself a little bit. Ain't even got nothing to do with me, man. They ain't got shit to do with me. I'm actually borrowing this studio momentarily. But ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all locking in, man. It's been a good time, man. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe and notify. Do all the good things to make yourself well versed. I will try my best to come to y'all more often. We'll just see how we can schedule that in. But definitely appreciate you being here. It's been a good dot, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Time for good dot to go and get to getting. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.